Next organelle that we are discussing that is mitochondria. Mitos means thread and the chondrion means granule. So the mitochondria are seen or found in the cytoplasm of plants and animals. Mitochondria were first seen by Kolliker, the scientist name is Kolliker, in 1950. Okay, and the term mitochondria or the name mitochondria was given by Benda. Janus Green Bee, another scientist, that he observed mitochondria in the living cell. Okay, so here we are discussing mitochondria. Mitos means thread, chondrion means granules. Okay, and these organelles are found in the cytoplasm of plants and animals. Mitochondria were first seen by Kolliker in 1850. The name mitochondria was coined by Benda in 1898. Okay, then the shape and size of mitochondria exhibits a considerable degree of variability. Typically, it is a sausage-shaped structure. Okay, this is mitochondria. This is sausage-shaped structure. Then the or cylindrical, having a diameter of 0.2 to 1 μm and the length 1 to 4.1 μm. Diameter 0.2 to 1 μm and the length 1 to 4.1 μm. Usually the cell possesses 1000 or more mitochondria, but some cells like those of yeast and unicellular algae may have a single big tubular mitochondrion. Mitochondria are bound by double membrane. That means it having an outer membrane and the inner membrane. Okay, let's see the structure of mitochondria. So this mitochondria having the two membrane, outer membrane and the inner membrane. The space in between these two membrane, that is intermembrane space. Okay, and inside the mitochondria contain matrix. Inside the mitochondria contain matrix. The inner membrane forms many folds. That folds are known as cristae. The inner membrane forms so many folds. Okay, that folds are known as cristae. Cristae, cristae. In singular, that is crista. This cristae increases surface area. Cristae bears subunits. Okay, the cristae bears subunits, that is known as oxysomes or elementary particles. The function of this oxysome or elementary particles related to ATP production. Okay, we know the fact that mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cell because they can produce energy. Mitochondria are produce energy in the form of ATP. Okay, ATP is known as the energy currency of the cell. Clear it is. So the inner membrane makes the foldings. The foldings are known as cristae. Cristae contain oxysome or elementary particles. These oxysomes or elementary particles are help in the formation of ATP production. And one more thing, that mitochondria are the sites of aerobic respiration. Aerobic means the oxygen, the presence of oxygen. So aerobic respiration means the respiration which will take place in the presence of oxygen. So without oxygen, the term is anaerobic respiration. Okay, we will in later class plant physiology we will check the term electron transport system and oxidative phosphorylation. So all that purpose, all that process, the mitochondria is needed. Okay, the matrix and the inner compound also contain a single circular DNA molecule and a few RNA molecule and a ribosome. Mitochondria along with chloroplast are considered as the semi-autonomous organelles. Semi-autonomous organelles. Mitochondria and with chloroplast are considered as the semi-autonomous organelles. Because why they are known as semi-autonomous molecule? Because they possess their own DNA, RNA and the ribosome. Okay. Mitochondria along with chloroplast are considered as the semi-autonomous organelles. Be minded. Mitochondria are capable to produce some of their own proteins. Okay. Again, I am repeating the point. Mitochondria. Mitochondria is a double-layered membrane, outer membrane and the inner membrane. Inner membrane makes a fold. That foldings are known as crista. The inner membrane portion, that is known as matrix. The space in between the outer membrane and the inner membrane, that is known as matrix. The mitochondria inside it possess ribosome, DNA and the RNA. The ribosome, the unit of the ribosome is 70S. 70S ribosomes are possessed inside the mitochondria. Mitochondria and the chloroplast together, they are known as not together, mitochondria along with chloroplast are considered as the semi-autonomous organelles. Semi-autonomous organelles. I told you that the inner membrane foldings are known as cristae, which increases the surface area, and the cristae bears oxysomes. Oxysomes are elementary particles and they are help in the process of ATP production. Okay. The two membranes of mitochondria have their own specific enzymes associated with mitochondrial function. That means the outer membrane and inner membrane have their own enzymes for the production of ATP. ATP is known as energy currency of the cell. The powerhouse of the cell is mitochondria. Mitochondria is working in oxygen, in presence of oxygen. So that type of respiration is known as aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration. Got it. Next we are discussing the cytoskeleton. Cytoskeleton is an intracellular network of filamentous proteinaceous structure consisting of microtubules, microfilaments and the intermediate filaments. So what is the function of skeleton? Skeleton which provides support, okay, and protection. On that way here the cytoskeleton which give it the framework, support, protection, etc. So cytoskeleton is an intracellular network of filamentous structure. It is a proteinaceous structure and there are three types of cytoskeleton. The three types are, okay, the cytoskeletons are three types: microtubules, microfilaments and the intermediate filaments. Microtubules are made up of the protein tubulin. Microfilaments are made up of the protein actin. Intermediate filaments are made up of the protein keratin, vimentin, desmin, peripherin and lamin. Again I am repeating, cytoskeletons are made up of three types of proteinaceous structure. They are microtubules, microfilaments and the intermediate filaments. The function of the cytoskeleton is to provide mechanical support, motility and maintains the shape of the cell. Microtubules are made up of tubulin and microfilaments are made up of actin. Intermediate filaments are made up of the protein fibers like keratin, vimentin, desmin, peripherin, lamin, etc. Microtubules are long, hollow, cylindrical structures formed by the polymerization of which protein? Tubulin. Okay. And they play a great role in cell division. Next we are discussing in the next chapter, we will discuss the cell division. Okay. So the microtubules functions are related with cell division. Then the microfilaments are made up of protein actin. They are either scattered or organized into network or parallel arrays with the matrix. They are known to play a major role in the motion or change in shape of the cell. Okay, such cellular movements are associated with microfibrils. That means the cells can move. Okay, the movement of the cell, amoeboid movement, this is sliding movement or protoplasmic movement occurs in the cell. That movements happen only in the presence or because of the skeleton microfilaments. And the next one is intermediate filaments. Intermediate filaments are tough and durable protein fibers or filaments that are present in the cytoplasmic membrane. They are keratin, vimentin, desmin, peripherin and lamin. In most animal cells, they form a basket around the nucleus and present in the cell-to-cell junctions. In the chapter structural organization, we will discuss different type of cell junctions. So, these intermediate filaments are work in the area of the cell-to-cell junctions. Next one we are discussing that is microbodies. Like rhizosome, microbodies are also a single membrane bound organelles. These are associated with oxidation reaction. The two type of microbodies are peroxisome and the glyoxysome. peroxisome and the glyoxysome. Peroxisome contain many enzymes. Two important enzymes are urate oxidase and catalase. Okay. Peroxisome occurs in most of the animals and plants, but quite in the photosynthetic cells. The number can be 70 to 100 per mesophyll cell. Then the main function is photorespiration. Then again repeating, microbodies. Here our next cell organelle is microbodies. Microbodies are covered by a single membrane like our lysosome. Okay. And these are associated with the oxidation reaction. Cell oxidation reaction. Microbodies are associated with the cell oxidation reaction. Then the two type of microbodies are peroxisomes and the glyoxysome. Peroxisome contain and the glyoxysome also contain two important enzymes. Peroxisome contain the many important enzymes. The two important enzymes are urate oxidase and the catalase. So peroxisome and the glyoxysome are the type of microbodies. Urate oxidase and the catalase are seen in peroxisome. Okay. And this peroxisome are help for the purpose of photorespiration. The cell having 70 to 100 per cell, per mesophyll cells, it is having microbodies. Glyoxysome are involved in the glyoxylate cycle. Glyoxysomes are found in the endosperm of the germinating seeds. നമ്മൾ ചെടി മുളച്ചു വരുമ്പോൾ അതിന്റെ എൻഡോസ്പെർം ഇല്ലേ, അതിലാണ് ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ എന്ത് കാണാൻ കഴിയുക നമുക്ക്? glyoxysomes. Glyoxysomes are found in the endosperms of germinating seeds, and the glyoxysomes are associated with glyoxylate cycle. For the working of the glyoxylate cycle, okay, these glyoxysomes are required. Microbodies, this functions of peroxisome and glyoxysome we will discuss in the plant physiology portion detailedly. Next one is, this is a sectional view of cilia. Cilia and the flagella are the hair-like extension of the body. Okay, these hair-like extension help the organism, help the cell to move. So both the cilia and the flagella are covered by plasma membrane. The core called axoneme. The core called axoneme. Then the axoneme usually has 9 pairs of the core. This is a core, this full core, that is axoneme. The core having 9 plus 2 arrangement. That means here the 9 microfilaments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 microtubules plus 2. So here the arrangement of cilia, that is 9 plus 2 arrangement. And those 9 microtubules are again, 9 microtubules are arranged in the form of doublet. Okay, the 9 microtubules are arranged in the form of doublet. Cilia and flagella are covered by plasma membrane. Their core are called axoneme. In the cilia and flagella, 9 plus 2 arrangement. 9 plus 2 arrangement. And the 9 microtubules are arranged in a doublet form. 9 microtubules are arranged in a doublet form. Okay. So here you can see the 9 peripheral tubules and the 2 central tubules. These 2 central tubules are not double. This one, this is single one and this is single one, but they are connected. And here also these 9 microtubules are connected. And they have a radial spoke. Just like the cartwheel, they have a radial spoke. Okay. In primary cilia, that means non-motile cilia, that arrangement is 9 plus 0. That means 9 doublets will be seen, but here central portion will not see. Matured ആയിട്ടുള്ള സീലിയയിലും ഫ്ലജല്ലയിലും 9 plus 2 arrangement ആയിരിക്കും. Primary cilia or non-motile cilia, they have the arrangement 9 plus 0. 9 മൈക്രോട്യൂബ്യൂൾസും ഇരിക്കുന്നത് എങ്ങനെയാണ്? ഇൻ ദ ഫോം ഓഫ് ഡബ്ലെറ്റ്, രണ്ടെണ്ണമായിട്ട് ഇരട്ടയായിട്ടാണ് ഇരിക്കുന്നുണ്ടായിരിക്കാം. ഓക്കെ, ആൻഡ് ദിസ് 9 microtubules having a radial spoke. Radial spoke means they are centrally, they are pointed to the center. Clear it is? This is the structure of centriole. Centrioles are the non-membranous cell organelle found mainly in the animal cells. and they are absent in the prokaryotic cell and the plant cell. In plant cell, centrioles are termed as diplosome. Centrioles are non-membrane bound cell organelles mainly seen in the animal cell. In case of plant cell, it is known as diplosome. The centrioles arrangement looks like a cartwheel. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and these 10 microtubules are arranged in the form of triplet form. On cilia and flagella, they are arranged in the doublet form, and here they are arranged in the triplet form. And they are having a radial spoke and the hub, just as our cartwheel. Okay, the function of the centrioles are in the when the cells start to divide, the centriole are very important. The function of the centriole is related to cell division. The function of the centriole is related to cell division. Clear it is? Okay. You can understand. Look here. It is a 9+2 arrangement. Here they are arranged in a triplet form. Next we are discussing the most important part of the cell, that is nucleus. Why the nucleus is considered as the most important part? Because it having the DNA. Okay, so the DNA, the genetic material. Okay, nucleus otherwise known as karyon. The study of nucleus is known as karyology. Nucleus, the other term of nucleus is karyon. The study of nucleus is known as karyology. Robert Brown first time identified nucleus. Nucleus was covered by a membrane that is known as nuclear membrane. Inside the nucleus there is a fluid that is known as nucleoplasm. Okay, nucleoplasm. The small holes which seen in the nucleus, that is known as nuclear pore. And okay. So we discussed nucleus, otherwise known as karyon. Study of nucleus known as karyology. Robert Brown, the first time he identified the nucleus from the cell. Then the nucleus are covered by the nuclear membrane. The nucleus is separated from the surrounding cytoplasm by a nuclear envelope, that is nuclear membrane, otherwise known as karyotheca. Then which is double and porous, outer and inner membrane, and this nuclear membrane having double-layered outer membrane and the inner membrane. And space in between the outer membrane and the inner membrane, that is known as perinuclear space. At certain places, the nuclear envelope is interrupted by the presence of small pores, that is known as nuclear pores. These nuclear pores help the DNA or the mRNA to come outside. The nuclear pore help the mRNA to come outside from the nucleus into the cytoplasm. Okay, the fluid which is seen inside the nucleus, that is known as nucleoplasm. Otherwise we can say karyolymph, because karyon is the term related to nucleus. So the nucleoplasm means the nucleus contain a viscous fluid that is called nucleoplasm or karyolymph. It contains all required components of DNA synthesis, RNA synthesis. Synthesis means formation. For the formation of DNA, RNA, all the materials are required or available in the fluid nucleoplasm. Nucleoplasm contains many regulatory proteins. Regulatory proteins mean to control the formation of the DNA, RNA or its working. Okay. Then the next one is nucleolus. The term nucleolus was given by the scientist Bowman. It is a spherical structure. It is not separated from the rest of the nucleoplasm by a membrane. Ribosomal RNA. Nucleolus is rich with ribosomal RNA. The function of the nucleolus is synthesis protein because it having ribosomal RNA. Repeating I am this portion, nucleon otherwise known as karyon. The study of nucleus is known as karyology. Robert Brown first time identified the nucleus. Nucleus is covered by a membrane that is known as nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane is a double-layered membrane, outer membrane and the inner membrane. The space in between the two membranes, that is known as the perinuclear space. Then this nuclear membrane having porous. This pore means small hole. This hole help to come out the mRNA from the nucleus into the cytoplasm. The fluid which is seen inside the nucleus, that is known as nucleoplasm or karyolymph. It has the materials for the DNA synthesis and the RNA synthesis. Got it? And the most important thing is that nucleus contain chromatin. That means chromosomes. Okay. So at the time of the cell division only, we can see the chromosome in X shape. Otherwise, the chromosomes are seen in the form of chromatin reticulum. ന്യൂക്ലിയസിന്റെ സെൽ ഡിവിഷൻ ഒഴികെയുള്ള സമയത്ത് നമുക്ക് ഈ ക്രോമോസോമുകളെ നൂലിന്റെ ഉണ്ടയാ പോലെ അല്ലെ കുറച്ച് ഉണ്ട പോലെ ആയിട്ട് കാണാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. സെൽ ഡിവിഷൻ സമയത്ത് മാത്രമാണ് നമുക്ക് എങ്ങനെ കാണാൻ സാധിക്കുക, അവരെന്നെ നമുക്ക് നമ്മുടെ ക്രോമോസോമിന്റെ ഷേപ്പ് എങ്ങനെയാണോ അതുപോലെ കാണാനായിട്ട് സാധിക്കുക. ഓക്കെ, സോ the DNA and the proteins are seen inside this chromosome. ന്റെ അകത്താണ് DNA. ന്യൂക്ലിയസിന്റെ അകത്ത് ക്രോമോസോമിന്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ DNA ക്ക് അകത്താണ് ജീൻ. Clear test. So inside the cell, the center portion is nucleus. Nucleus contain chromosome contain DNA contain gene, and this gene carries the hereditary units. Okay, this is the structure of the chromosome. So here there is a primary construction. The chromosome having two arms. The two arms are connected by the primary construction that is known as centromere. Okay, so I told you that at the time of the cell division, shell show constructed chromosome in the place of the nucleus. Chromatin contains DNA, chromatin reticulum, which contains DNA and the proteins. The protein which is seen inside the DNA, that is known as histone. Proteins which is seen inside the DNA, that is known as histone. We will study the structure of DNA and histone in next class, in 12th standard. Then the chromosome essentially has a primary construction, that is centromere, on which of these disc-shaped structures are called kinetochore. So in this picture you can't see the kinetochore. In textbook page number 139 you will be seeing the kinetochore. So here the chromosome having two arms. Here one is short arm, another one is long arm. These two arms are connected by the centromere. In all cases these arms are not short and long. Okay, so on the position of the centromere, the chromosomes are classified into metacentric, submetacentric, acrocentric and the telocentric. Okay, in metacentric, the length of the two arms are equal. So on that metacentric, we can't say short arm and the long arm, because the two arms are equal. That is metacentric. And here submetacentric, the position of the centromere is just above from the center. So here long arm and short arm will be there. That is submetacentric. Next one is acrocentric. You can see here that a short arm and a long arm. Okay, so the position of the centromere is shifted from the center portion. That is acrocentric. Next is telo. Telo means tip. You can see the short arm, but a little short arm will be there. That is telocentric. Okay, that means the centromere seen in the terminal portion. Centromere seen in the terminal portion. So on the position, based on the position of the centromere, the divided into metacentric, submetacentric, acrocentric and the telocentric. Metacentric, centromere position in the center. Submetacentric, it deviated from the center slightly. Acrosome means we can clearly see in the short arm and the long arm. Okay, and the position of the centromere will be changed. Then telocentric, the centromere position at the terminal position. The centromere position at the terminal position. That means the tip position. Okay, clear to us? Told you about the kinetochore in page number 139. Here it is the kinetochore. Kinetochore is the primary, it's not a primary constriction. Centromere is the primary constriction and kinetochore is the secondary constriction. Secondary constriction. This kinetochore help in the process of cell division. Next we will discussing cell division. So the function of this kinetochore is related to cell division. And here is the 4 types of chromosome you can see here in this metacentric, submetacentric, acrocentric and the telocentric. In telocentric the short term is very short, okay, they are based on the centromeric position. In some chromosome an additional constriction will be seeing, that is satellite secondary constriction, that is known as satellite. The satellite chromosome is unique for our satellite chromosome is unique. Satellite chromosome is unique means it reveals our hereditary characters. That means for me and my daughter and my brother, okay, in the same genetic history having the same kind of satellite chromosome. Okay, so here we are discussed different type of cell organelles. I hope all you can understand this chapter. Thank you.